I'm gonna be the greatest of all time. I am a GOAT and I'm in my prime, about to run up the score up the sideline. I'm about to show you what fast is. I catch a slant and I cash in. I'm Justin Jefferson last year. Gritty with it. I'm in Cincinnati, I'm hitting the icky shuffle cause I be in the city with it. Touchdown in Atlanta, I'm hitting the dirty bird cause that's when they was really winning. I left from the A and went to the Bay like 94 prime time. Rmnfl, man, 24 grind time. Here we gon' get it and truck through you. Justin Tucker gon' kick it like Kung Fu. Tyreek and Water my 1-2, and that defense be stopping the run too. We out in Dallas, AT&T. Dak just did a play action and hit him deep. No X factors on CD, he's still a beast. Toss it back to McCaffrey, he killing cleats. Lamar Jackson got help, so we finna see. Andrews and Bateman and ODB. A-Rod done went up to NYC. They got Sauce at DB and he play for keeps. Saquon gon' look like the MVP. We know the East run the NFC. AFC gotta go through the Chiefs. Pat Mahomes on the throne trying to get him 3. Pat Mahomes on the throne trying to get him 3. Victory formation, take a knee. Allen and Diggs up in Buffalo, but we know Burrow and Chase wanna get a piece. Philly got Hurts, and he put in work. The Eagles is thirsty, they wanna be first, they wanna be great. If you wanna stay at the top of your game, put in work every day, let's play.
Good morning, everybody. This is Just News. It's Just News again, the Rmnfl Network. And today we have, let me think. It's Musah'S Top 10. Sometimes I gotta say, Musah, he's just bugging. But Musah, how you doing this morning, brother?
Man, I'm doing spectacular. I got my own show, you know, that makes his brother feel good, man. I'm doing wonderful.
Man, you definitely got me thinking about some of these picks, but we'll get into it and we'll talk about it. But we got another guy on the show, Motormouth himself, Mr. High Eagle, Eagles flying high with the Super Bowl championship winner. How you doing, Eagles?
Good morning, man. How everybody doing? I'm fine.
Doing good too, man. But man, I don't know about these picks this week, man. I got some things to talk about. Musah, I don't know where you've been, what kind of coffee you've been drinking, but you got me confused. But I like to start out with one thing. Offensive player of the week this week, running back out of Jacksonville, Mr. Bigsby, 13 attempts, 104 with 2 touchdowns. And Terry McLaurin on the opposite side, 3 catches, 124, 2 touchdowns. And on the defensive side, we got 5 tackles by Thornhill with 3 interceptions. The Cleveland Browns, last guy, Emmanuel Forbes Jr., 2 tackles, 1 interception. And you know he had to have a pick 6. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Musah.
Yeah, go ahead.
What are you going on? What do you got going on here, man?
Yeah, I think this top 10 this week is probably the most volatile. I think, like, as far as conversation starters. I know a lot of people look at this and I know this rankings that came out this week is probably the one that has started the most controversy, but I feel confident in my picks this week.
Well, listen. First, let's give a big shout out to who? Who do you want to give a shout out to?
The Packers, man.
The Packers?
Yeah.
You want to give a shout out to the Packers? Who's the Packers?
I don't know who he is, but I know what his game is doing.
You know what his game is doing?
Yeah.
Well, big shout out to the Packers for some unknown reason, but we know one reason, and the biggest reason of all is because he took out three-time Super Bowl winner. I don't know how he did it, but he took out the big three-time Super Bowl winner, the Chicago Bears, 30-28. Did you watch the game?
I watched most of it. Uh, I know the first game that they played against each other was a 1 point game. So I felt like that if they played again, that it was going to be another fireworks show, and I don't think it disappointed.
Well, let's see. Justin Fields threw 2 interceptions. That might have done it. But he did have 4 touchdowns, 360 yards in the game. 17 of 33, a lot of throwing, not a lot of completed passes. Jordan Love, on the other hand, 14 of 21, completed 66% of his passes, 241. 2 touchdowns, did have 2 interceptions. But what was it? It was the running game. Aaron Jones, 126 yards off of 17 attempts, and 3 rushing touchdowns. I think the Bears couldn't stop the run. What do you think, Kareem?
Yeah, he struggled with that. He struggled with stopping the run. He had made it been known himself. He would have had ball control offenses. It's difficult for him because he's a high flyer. He wants to put up points in bunches. Average about 40 or 50 points. But when you try to run the ball, when you're playing ball control offense, worrying about your first downs, he typically struggles.
And that is Edwin himself.
Yes.
Edwin struggles.
Yes.
That's what you're saying here.
Yes.
Edwin, is it true? Yeah, I think it's true. You know who else struggles? I'm gonna let Musa handle that because I don't know how you put him in the top 10, but you did, and I think you now know it's a mistake.
From what I assume, you're talking about our starting off person at number 10. You're talking about the Jets at 6-3.
I'm talking about the Jets.
Yeah. They last week they were unranked. This week I put them in there. It was a hard decision. It was between them and the Texans. But I looked at the past 4 games for each team. Jets are 3-1, Texans 2-2. The Jets were they were the hotter team. So that's why I went with them at 10. Which I spoke of several times in the chat. The Jets got the 3-3 curse on them, where they win 3 ball games, lose 3, then win 3 again. And I was looking at this game and I was thinking, this next game coming up that they could possibly lose and go on another 3-game skid. And I think I was right because it started off last night. But as of the rankings coming out, I felt like they was the 10th best team in the Rmnfl.
Kareem.
Yeah.
Kareem, this man has a dream. I don't think the Jets is the top 10. He doesn't play football. He plays, I'm just going to call plays, see if they work. Agree? Disagree?
I think he plays football at times. I don't think he's top 10 right now. But Musa said he had a 3-game winning streak. He had a 3-game winning streak, followed by a 3-game winning streak. So I see the argument there, but top 10, I don't know.
I don't know. It's an easy I don't know. No, he's not top 10. Musa, great choice, but not so good.
So Marion,
what up?
Who else would you have put there then?
If I would have put him in the top, somebody in the top 10.
The number 10 team. We're talking about the number 10 team right now. Who else would you have put there besides the Jets?
Well, actually, I would have put the Patriot at the 10 spot. The Patriots had, I would have put the Patriots there. But we'll talk about the Patriots later. But yeah, I would have definitely put the Patriots at the 10 spot, and I would not have had the Jets at the 10 spot. But everybody knows, we all know, it's just news. It's just news.
Okay.
Everybody
Agreed.
knows. What's your next pick, Musa? Because you gave me a headache on that one. You can't be giving me headaches in the morning. Not like
Yeah,
this.
I got you. I got you. My next pick, I think everybody was at the time was cool with this one. At number 9, I had the Lions coming in at 6-3. They've been unranked all season. This is the first time that they've gotten ranked. Because I think they started out struggling, but they came back, handed the Rams their first loss, and they just continued to beat teams that you never thought that they should beat. They almost had the Packers the second time they played. I really think that the Lions playing top 10 football right now at number 9.
Kareem?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The Lions is playing very well. We got a big win against the Rams. I want to say last week, which solidified that he was for real. That NFC North right now is a juggernaut where all teams above 500. I think there's 6-4, 7-4, and two lost teams. So I do think that he deserves to be in the top 10 at number 9, based on his body of work thus far. But if we want to fast forward, he just got beat down by the Vikings.
Yeah,
So you get in the top 10 and you don't live up to the expectations, you be out the top 10 real fast.
exactly.
I think the Vikings got his kids playing. But Musa, can you just read your statement for number 9 and why you picked it?
All right, yeah, word for word, what it says. About time we get the Lions in here. They started out struggling, and it seems as if the cruise time was still lingering on, but they have found a way to stack some wins against some tough opponents and show up at number 9 in our rankings this week. They were the first team to knock off the Rams and have looked really good since. They almost beat the Packers the second game, and I think on the third try in the playoffs, we'll see the Lions victorious.
Kareem, what is this young man talking about? The Lions is another one that's going to end up like the Jets.
Well, by me being newly appointed NFC North captain, I do believe that one of them teams ain't gonna get in the playoffs. Um, I think it's out of the Lions and the Vikings that may not get into the playoffs. But you never know, how it will fall. But to beat a team 3 times in a season is difficult for anybody. Does he have a chance? Of course. But the way the Packers, look as of late, he's like about to get his mojo back and be on the roll. He's real confident. Uh, that's all I gotta say about that one. But are we talking about Lions Super Bowl, or are we just talking about Lions making the playoffs? Two different things.
Well, of course, I don't know, man. I think what's happening that they're going to push this one guy in here up, and I think you guys don't want him in there. You're going to push the New York Giants up in there, and I think what's going to happen is going to slide some guys down, but we'll get into that later. But of course, it's just news, but it's true news. Giving up 35 points, the Lions is probably going to be one of those fairy tale guys that just made it, and I don't know. Musa, what you got next, man?
Next, I got the Patriots at 6-3. Last week they were number 5. They took some really good bumps on the head these past 2 weeks, but they played very well. So I couldn't drop them out of the top 10 because they played. To me, I still feel like they're playing top 10 ball. They did lose to the Indianapolis Colts, then turn around and lost to the Rams, which at the time they were 1-2 when they played them. So number 8 Patriots.
Kareem, this is going to come down to the Patriots and the Jets. I want you to remember this. It's going to come down to the Patriots and the Jets. What do you think?
Um, right now, Uh, listen, I gotta go with the Jets. Uh, he has playoff experience, man. Kenny has shown us time and time again his decision making in late game situations ain't always the best. He just lost a tough one that he was ahead going into the fourth quarter against the Texans. If you had to ask me, I'm saying the Jets right now. He has playoff experience. We know what Julio is going to do. He's going to run the ball in the round, and he's going to try to play defense.
Don't say, don't say end around.
Why? That's not what he does.
It's a
Don't
jet
say
sweep.
Jet
don't.
sweep. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, don't say end around because you know what, Musa, you took care of that end around.
Yeah, the thing was, I've been licking my chops about playing the Jets for the past couple of seasons. Ever since I got the blueprint on him, and which I told you in that playoff game, Marion, is that when he lines up in those certain formations, that's the only thing he does, and so I just jumped all over it, and I was waiting on it. I was daring him to do it, and
But
uh, and he and
it
he
did
and he
seem like
kept doing
it did
it.
seem like he was all over it too.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
and
was it was definitely all over it, man. You knew what you were doing. You won that game. You beat him. You beat him good too. On top of it,
yeah.
100%. Great job. Moving on. What do you got next?
Number 7, we got the Rams. Last week they was number 2. They're 9-2 on the season. But to me, man, I feel like the Rams are probably one of the biggest top 10 disappointments that we have in the league. Uh, I feel like he's better than number 7, but that's where I got him at right now, just because of the way he's been playing lately. I felt like that last game he went into, he went in a little cocky. He had Stetson Bennett in at quarterback, and I feel like it almost cost him the game. I think it was against the Patriots. Um, but yeah, Rams number 7.
Well, that's about that's a good pick. That's a real good pick. What do you think, Kareem?
I think it's a decent pick. I think that the Rams suffer from playing in a weak division at the moment.
Hey, watch your
So when
mouth.
he's so when he steps out
Watch
the
your
division,
mouth.
it's kind of tough to compete against these users who are playing tougher divisions because of the level of competition. That is a factor. I'm telling you. I
So
was
you're
a
saying if
witness
we
to
were
it.
better, he would play better?
I think it just
Gino.
raises the level of the gameplay of the user. Gino's well respected. You respect it. Who's the other one in there? Who's
uh,
the
Marion,
Marion? Who else? There's one more. Uh,
Ricky,
You trying to? No, it's me,
Ralph, or
Ralph.
whatever. What? Yeah, Ralph.
Ralph. No, Ralph, I respect it. I'm just saying, right now you're not playing good football as a division, so it's hard to step out in these other divisions and compete against guys that's in dog fights on the daily. Number
Yeah,
7, I think he makes the playoffs easily at the number 4 seed because he's going to win your division. But the 5 seed may be better than him.
yeah.
So that's
Well,
where he at with that.
just to rebut before Marion says anything. Now, I agree with what you're saying on that about his division, but when you look at his schedule, he really hasn't played division mates for real. Now, he's played the
Exactly.
49ers, which the 49ers have not shown up well against anybody this season, and he blew them out both times. But when he played the Seahawks, the score was 35-31. Like, the Seahawks really gave him a tough game. All the other games have been out of division opponents.
Well, that's
So
why I
he
said Kareem's bumping his
yeah.
head because he hasn't played us.
Yeah.
He played y'all 3 times. He only had 3 more games against y'all.
He
He
played
played y'all.
me.
He played the other 2 times and 1 time.
And then
How many
he ain't
division
played
games
me, the
do you think you
three-time
get?
Super Bowl championship winner. He ain't
Yeah.
played
That
me yet.
that.
He played
Uh,
the person that's gonna whoop everybody.
He has not played the person that's going to whoop everybody. Right now, I'm just gearing up. But we have another dude. We have another guy. Another solid guy. I'll let Musa take the honors because I think you really screwed up on this one here. I don't know why you have him so low, but he was playing the Packers, which it wasn't easy. But go ahead, Musa.
Yeah, number 6, we got the Bears at 8-2. Last week had them at number 4. I got the Bears dropping 2 positions here, just like I said, because of the loss to the Packers. Packers last week, I think, was number 6, and yeah, so I had to drop them, and that's the thing I try to explain to everybody is that when you lose, you got to go down. Whether it's 1 spot or 5 spots or 10 spots. When you lose, you got to go down. I know the Bears are one of the best teams in the Rmnfl, but according to the top 10 rankings, they're right now, to me, they're number 6. They're in a tough division. Number 6.
Wow. Kareem.
So again, Musa made a good point. Are we arguing that the Bears is top 3, 4 years in the league? We're not arguing that. I agree. When you lose, you have to go. You have to drop. There's no standing pat when you lose. You know, it's not like you're on a bye week. You lost. You lost a tough game. Now, number 6, I wouldn't say he should be number 6, but he was number 4 the week before. So maybe he should still be in the top 5. Because you know, if you look at the rankings, the Chiefs moved up 4 spots, and the Bears dropped down 2 spots. So maybe he should be replacing the Chiefs. So I do think the Bears is a top 5 team in the league right now. I actually would put them over the Chiefs. But, you know, that's why Musa does the rankings, man. You know, you got to respect what he do. He put a lot of thought into this.
He sure did. He woke up and gave me a headache. Why is the Bears so low? I don't agree. It's 2 losses. You got to respect the man. You know what it is. I think he's so caught up with this deep ball. But I think once he gets to the playoffs, you're gonna stop and you're gonna say, "Oh, I think I made a mistake." Kareem.
But Marion, if you look at the rankings, right? You say 2 losses. The Chiefs have 2 losses, right? The Colts have 1 loss. The Colts beat the Bears. The Ravens has 2 losses. 2 losses out of the first 3 weeks. I want to say the Packers have 2 losses. Well, he went 1-1 against the Bears, and I had 1 loss. So you want to go by that, you know, Musa may have a point. You know, only person I say switching with the Chiefs. I think, you know, Bears should be above the Chiefs, but Musa say, nah, he ain't gonna keep losing and staying in my top 5.
and again, I think that a lot of times that the arguments, a lot of the arguments are coming from people looking at the season as a whole, trying to rank as opposed to looking at it from a week to week basis. Like, this is what we have this week, and if you're number 1 and you lose to number 3, you need to go down to at least 3 or 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, looking at it as a week to week basis, as opposed to, all right, this is what he's done the whole season. He should be number 1. You know what I mean?
Yawn, yawn, yawn. Let's talk about the Chiefs. The Chiefs played the Ravens this week. And right now, he has a suspension because he doesn't get the sportsmanship rules. I think he got too many weights going on and all the creatine's getting to his brain. So Patrick, he might lose this one.
Yeah.
He got the $20 fine. He's got Patrick out for what? Is it a quarter or two quarters? 2 quarters?
I don't know, because I think this is like what, the 4th time he's broke the sportsmanship rule.
Let's talk about the Ravens. No, let's talk about the Chiefs.
Yeah. So Chiefs 7-2 last week. They were ranked pretty low. I think it's number 9, but I can't remember. I think I might be wrong on that.
No, you're right.
But the Chiefs, they're playing really good football. They did lose a terrible game to the Denver Broncos, but they did come back and play the Carolina Panthers while they were ranked. And I think the Panthers and Chiefs were one like, I think it was like 7-8 or 8-9 or something like that. But the Chiefs were Panthers were ranked at the time. Then they came back, beat the Cardinals. The Chiefs benefit from a lot of teams losing ahead of them, which bumped them up, I feel like, to number 5. They do have a big game this week against the Baltimore Ravens, and we do know how they got slapped up in the playoffs last year by the Ravens. But I think if the Chiefs come in focused, but it sounds like they're not because they're going to be missing some players. But if they come in focused, I think that they can stick around here in the top 5.
Well, they're both 7-2, but there's something that the Chiefs can't do. And you
Which
know
is
what
throw
it
the ball
is.
down, throw the ball down the field.
And this can't be a game that the Ravens play with the Chiefs because the Chiefs have beat him. But he
They
can't
have
play. Well, yeah. The Chiefs, the Ravens got beat by him before. But I want to say this.
in this league.
Yeah.
I don't think that's accurate. I don't think
Yeah,
that's accurate, bro.
Oh, wait. It was the Texans.
Yeah, I don't think that's accurate.
My bad. All right.
Yeah.
Messed up. Didn't get my stuff right. All I got to say is this.
Cool.
Fasico has to stop playing possum with these guys. He lets them stay in the game so he can get stats, and then he gets above. It's going to get him. And this is one game you can't mess around. Okay? You cannot mess around with this game. This game is too important for him to mess around, but I don't think the Chiefs is where he belongs. And this next one, I really want to call the cops on you, Musa.
I hear
How
you.
are you going to put Will in this next spot, the Colts, at 4, who is better than the Ravens?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So without talking about the whole top 10 list as a whole, and just talking about this one particular spot, the Colts at 9-1. Last week they were number 1. They've been number 1 all season. But like I said, the prior statement that I made, when you lose, you got to go down. They lost to the Packers, which were number 6 last week. Which while while it was a good game, 31-28, Colts had to come down. They had to come down, and
not 4.
not going into the other spots on the list. They had to go down based off the people that were underneath them moving up.
But not 4. Not 4. You got the Ravens at. We got to talk about this, man. We got the Ravens ahead of him.
Yes.
7-2. Will lost 1 game and he dropped to 4. He's good enough to beat the Eagles.
He is good, but see, that's what I try to say is that we're looking at when a lot of people make their arguments, they're looking at the season as a whole and putting players where they think they should be. Will being at number 4 as a result of him losing to the Packers at number 6.
Who's a 1 game?
I know it's 1 game, but you got to think in IRL, the Florida State Seminoles went undefeated. In order to make it to the playoffs, the only thing they were told at the beginning of the season, in order to make it to the playoffs, is win ball games, and they did exactly that, and they still did not make the playoffs. They're undefeated. Then you have other teams that made it into the playoffs that had losses, and how do you put them over them? So, like I said, win-loss to me, a win-loss record doesn't matter when you're talking about a week-to-week top 10. When you're talking about team where they're rated at.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? He is 9-1. He could beat the Eagles. He could beat the Packers again this next time.
The Packers, bro.
But he could beat them next time because it was a close game.
So what I want to say is that I don't agree with his ranking. I do believe that the Colts should be the number 3 team. And my opinion is based. He just lost to the team that's ahead of him. So I'm for moving the Packers up, but I don't think you should drop the Colts down that far. I do think that, regardless of win-loss record, he should be behind the Packers based off of a week-to-week. They played head-to-head. Packers got the edge. He won.
I agree.
And by the Packers being so high, like for example, if the Packers number 7, I don't believe that you should move Colts to number 8 because the Packers won. But you're talking about the top 5, where it can go either way. Any of these teams can be number 1 team in the top 5, in my opinion, at any given time, and they probably will all be number 1 before the season is over at some point in time. But I don't think that the Packers should. I mean, the Colts should be number 4. I think they should be number 3.
And with saying that, this is the only one I think you bumped your head on. The only one. Somebody put something in his coffee. We don't know what it was, but I'm going to slide over the Ravens because he has to play the Chiefs. And then I'm going to go, let's talk Packers. Okay? We'll talk Packers. He beat a good team. Go ahead. Now, do me a favor. Just do me one favor. Word for word. Read your statement. Starting with the time has finally come.
Yeah. Time has finally come to put some respect on the Packers' name. They slowly rose through the ranks, beating the people that walk in front of him. I like to see what will happen the rest of the season if they're with their division, with a split over the Bears, a sweep versus the up-and-coming Lions, and then 2 games left versus the Vikings. Will we see a changing at the guard in the NFC North?
Now, do you guys hear that? Kareem, did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Is he good enough to beat you? Is he good enough to knock you out?
Is he? Yeah. Again, it's a week-to-week league. Catch me on a bad day, you may win. You know, I think that, like I said, anybody in the top 5 or top 6 is good enough to beat each other, I want to say. You never know. Listen, he had some impressive wins. He beat the Colts. He beat the Bears. You're talking about, they arguably had the best game of Rmnfl this season, the Colts and the Bears. They were 1-2 for a while. So, you know, he had some impressive wins. Can he sustain it? Is my answer. Is my question, I mean. Can he sustain it? You know, we all picked him last year to roll over the Seahawks in the playoffs, and the Seahawks came out and punched him in the mouth. You know, we got to see over time. And we know the users that have been in the league and go to the playoffs, it's a different season. It's a different preparation. It's a different grind. Game call is different. You know, play call is different. So we got to wait and see.
Well, with saying that, guys, I'm going to say, hold up. I didn't want to do that just yet. One more time. Here we go. Okay, it's that time to talk about the number 1 guy in Rmnfl who last year won a Super Bowl, and now, guess what? We have to hear it every day. He's the Super Bowl champ. Is he number 1 for real? Musa, I'll let you answer that. Can you please?
At number 1, we have the Las Vegas Raiders, who've been dominating this season, putting people on posters. Nah.
This is why y'all always hear about it. Oh man, I never get a proper introduction.
I'm sorry, guys.
Where the Texans at?
We have to talk about them.
Boom, boom, boom.
We have to talk about them. We have to talk about them. We hate to talk about them. But you guys don't know he's the number 1 passer in Rmnfl.
Hey, so I'm gonna say it, man.
No,
the
not
Eagles,
passer, rusher.
Yeah. Eagles, man. Number
1 offense.
Eagles number 1 team, man. On the top 10. Man, I know I give him a hard time, but man, Kareem, that's my boy. We had some knockdown dragouts over there in the NFC East, and man, I'm proud to see what I made him. I turned him into a juggernaut. I mean, you know, he's 9-1, and you know the thing about him, you know everybody knows what he's gonna do coming into the game, and and it's just up to everybody else to stop it. And so far, only one team's been able to do that, and which is the Commanders, and he came back and avenged that loss, really good. Like, it wasn't no question. He's dealt with fines, he's dealt with suspensions, he's dealt with injuries, and he keeps showing up each and every week. But the thing about him is his defense isn't necessarily what's holding him in the game. Is his offense. He's number 1 in points. He's number 2 in rushing, in yards per game, in total yards. Number 8 in passing yards. Number 2 in rushing yards. His defense gives up a ton through the air with the number 29 in pass defense, but he stops the run really well, and he doesn't give up a lot of points.
Did you know? Okay, I had it wrong. I had it incorrect. He has the number 1 offense, like you said. Number 3 in rushing. And let's see, where else do you sit? You don't sit nowhere else. Good, thank gosh. But you know who has the number 1 defense, though? Does anybody know who has the number 1 defense? Musa. You.
The Raiders.
The big-time Raiders. But you got skunked by the Steelers. Worst team in the AS. No, I'm just joking. Just joking, Steelers.
Yeah. My team plays really good defense. It's like I said, I feel like Willis, man, he turns the ball over too much. And I try not to put the ball in his hands that often. But yeah, he does. Turns the ball over way too much.
All right, guys, real quick, I'm going to end it with this. We all know somebody's got to beat the Eagles, or we're going to hear it for another 17 games plus playoffs next year. If you don't want to hear it, look at this fine picture right here. It says Super Bowl champ. We need to end that saga. We need to end it. Is it going to happen? Who's going to do it? I know a couple teams that's going to do it, and we'll see. But that's our time, guys. Musah's top 10 once again kind of disturbed me, but we got it back on track. And it's been real. It's just news. Thank you, Corporate Images. Thank you, T-Thrill. Thank you, Mr. Snipe TV Gaming. It's the Rmnfl Network, the brand with the plan since 10/10/2018. And don't forget, we have a former NFL player who is coming on, I believe, Wednesday, and he's going to talk to us about denim. So you might want to show up about denim. If it's not Wednesday, it's going to be Tuesday. We're trying to work out a date. But again, I want to thank you, Musah, for all the time you put into this saga. Put a lot of work into it, and I really respect you for what you do. And thank you for Kareem for popping up and showing up. It's Just News and the top 10. You have anything to say in 1 minute?
Support them Eagles, man. Be the top. Give you my respect.
You got me spinning in my chair right now. I'm spinning in my chair.
About my Eagles. And this is a great league. A lot of different personalities. Very respectable. Let's keep going. Let's keep fighting. We in season 2. We're trying to get 2 more seasons out of this. Let's go.
Musah, you got 30 seconds. Let's go.
Just glad to be here each and every week. Glad everybody tuned in to the top 10. Glad to just be a part of the Rmnfl. Looking forward to seeing who all's getting into the playoffs, because people are losing that shouldn't lose. People are winning that shouldn't win. I think we're gonna have a good
5 seconds.
Rest of the season.
Here we go. And my name is Coach Barrett. We were just keeping it real. And this is the Rmnfl Network. We'll see you. Goodbye.